Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Good evening.
And welcome, folks. Welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And this show, Jeff, is kind of my favorite because I like to hear the digging report. So,
yeah, we're going to have a new one tonight too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, of course, and hopefully everybody's been out there digging and finding cool stuff and just having a good time. And we'll hear about it tonight all over the country, or actually all over the world, right?
Yeah, we will. So let's get our housekeeping done, and we got a few things to discuss.
Absolutely. As always, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And of course, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Chelsea Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting or metal detecting and treasure hunting of all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're just going to do that, aren't we, Jeff?
We are indeed.
So you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, let's talk about the deals you got going.
Specials we got going on right now. You know, most people, well, I shouldn't say most people. Some people don't want to have the Deus 2 or the Manticore. They want something that's a little more affordable or a little lower price. So, but excellent detectors compared to what we were swinging years ago. Waterproof, multi-frequency, and just get the job done. And both Naka and MindLab have, and I'll just pull one up right now, add it to the stage. Let's see here. That's a special for the Xterra Elite. Comes with a Profind 35 pinpointer and a sand scoop, and that's $5.99. That is an awesome detector, Jeff, compared to what
it is.
Compared to what we used to swing, like the AT Pro, and before that, they weren't waterproof. I mean, Garrett kind of started all this with the Garrett AT Pro, the multi-purpose waterproof detector with Target ID. Mm-hmm. And then Naka and MindLab just took and ran with it. And this is the MindLab Xterra Elite multi-frequency, and it's got wireless headphones, 2 different coils, the sand scoop we throw in there, and then the Profind 35 pinpointer, and that's $5.99 shipped to you. If you're not in Florida, if you're in Florida, you got to pay, of course, the Florida sales tax. So let me remove that one, and I'll bring up the remove from studio, and then I got to remember how to add another one in there. This is the Naka product. I just wish I had a faster way of doing this. Let's see here. This is the Naka. Where did it go? Add to the stage. Naka Triple Score. It's a little cheaper, of course. And you got a hand digger, too, with this one. And it's $4.99. It's got 2 coils. Got the 9x12 for the beach, and then the 5x8 for land hunting. It's got a pinpointer, digger, and the stainless sand scoop, and that's $4.99. That's also multi-frequency, and it's the Naka is like a simplified Naka Legend detector. It's an awesome,
very good detector.
Yes, for the money you pay today, what we used to get was nowhere near this. Wasn't waterproof. No. One thing, and most of them weren't multi-frequency years ago. So these are just some awesome detectors. If you don't want to buy the most expensive or the high-end unit, these things here, people use them on the beach, just love them, and use them for land detecting too. They're just awesome. And they have 4 programs into them, the park, field, beach, and I think they call it on the Naka, it's a relic mode. So they're awesome detectors too.
Yeah, they are. And, they got the lighted The backlit and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, they're backlit, and knock on this one. I wish the Legend was like this. The knobs are like backlit, so you can see them real easy. I hope when they update the Legend, I hope they do that, because the display on this actually looks a little nicer than the Legend. But that is a really cool product and a really cool kit that they put together. And then, of course, we throw in the famous Treasure Talk towel and a stainless sand scoop to get you started. So excellent kit for getting started.
That's right. Everything you need. Everything you need. So what we're going to do tonight, I hope we're going to do it tonight. You know, this what we're trying to do with the Worldwide Digging Report is just to let you know what's happened. Trumbull treasure hunters bowed out, no longer will be involved with the show, with the reason being the people up there in Ohio, they don't want to talk to them. They think that they're trying to get a heads up on detecting spots and that kind of stuff. You know, I had thought at this time that we would be over that crap in this hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So, you know, he said that, you know, he couldn't get the people to give him any kind of a report, so he's dropped out. Hopefully we've added for tonight, a Texas detectorist, and I do not see them in the green room, so I don't know what the deal is here. We may not have that tonight. We may just have to blather on for a few minutes before we get into our other reports.
Well, we can do that, Jeff. I don't see any problem with what most people don't realize is we're not asking for you to give away your secret hunting spots. Just give us a report on what's happening in your area. But I know people are very selective or secretive about their spots, but you can give a general report and just tell us how the beaches look or how your area is, you know, weather report.
Yeah, that's all we've ever asked for.
Yeah,
you know, just what are people using? What are they finding? That kind of stuff. So I don't understand all the secrecy crap. I really don't. So anyways, I see back in the chat is Miss Angie from the UK. So she's obviously feeling better.
Well, that's
we're
good.
very, very happy about that. And won't be long, we'll be getting a digging report from her and Derek from the UK. Isn't that right, Angie? Pretty soon, the next month. I want you to be a reporter, so we got to talk about that.
And well, while we got a minute here, Jeff, I'm just going to tell the folks about Jocelyn. She's getting a heart version done on Thursday, so. And Wednesday, she's got a doctor's appointment early too. So I might be a little late to the shop on Wednesday. So don't come in early Wednesday or call me first. And the same thing on Friday. Supposedly she'll be home the same day, but you just never know with doctor's appointments and hospitals. So keep her in your prayers. And I appreciate that. And just call me first before you come in on Friday and on Wednesday. I'll be here tomorrow for sure. So we had time to get that out of the way too.
Well, we're all praying. Everybody out there that is of that ilk, like I am, let's all make sure we say a prayer for Jocelyn for a speedy recovery and a good outcome.
Absolutely.
So, okay, it is time. It was time for our West Texas digging report. She's not here. I don't know what the problem is. If maybe she forgot or she's on Central Time and I don't know.
Well, that could be a problem.
Let's see.
But we could, we may have a little more time.
She says she's trying to get in, but her internet is slow. So we'll keep trying.
All righty. Yeah, we could bring on later if she gets in, I guess.
Well,
we endure.
We do. Let me just reply to her.
And
what we'll do is we're going to we're going to change it up. We're going to go with our next report. And then once she gets in, we'll bring her in. I'll just adjust.
There we go.
Okay. The next report is our young fella up in the East Coast for what is it, Phil?
It's the Delmarva Peninsula.
That's right. He always gives a great report.
Yes.
So for your pleasure, he's got a couple extra minutes tonight. He's going to give us a report till 7:20. And then we'll see what goes on. Maybe 7:25. But we'll see if we can't get everything going. So let's bring this young man on from Delmarva, Mr. Mark Paddock. Hello, Mark.
Uh-oh.
His mic is muted.
Give us a second. We got you muted, Mark. Hold 1 second.
I don't have him muted.
He's got it muted.
Yeah. Unmute your mic, Mark.
Muted.
Okay, let's see. No, he's got to unmute his mic.
Yeah.
We don't have any sound on you, Mark.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Perfect.
There you go.
All right.
I had my head in my ass. Thank you, Phil and Jeff, for having me on again this month. I appreciate it. I don't know that I'm going to take the full time, but let me go over what I can share with people along the East Coast in the Mid-Atlantic region. I'm located in Ocean City, Maryland. I cover my report from Virginia Beach up to south of Atlantic City, which includes South Jersey and so forth, because we're kind of situated in a little pocket north of, as I put my head over top, north of North Carolina. So we're like in a pocket that generally does not get the direct impacts from the summertime hurricane season and so forth. But we do get our fair share of offshore storms moving up the coast and ripping up the beach and so forth. So let me start first with our water temperature. Right now is 57, 58 degrees in Ocean City, Maryland. Cape May is 30 miles away as the crow flies. Virginia Beach is about 2 hours south. They're a little bit warmer. So right in that upper 50s, early 60s, at that transfer spot where we're going to shed our dry suits from getting into surf and going to either a heavy wetsuit or a moderate wetsuit. Not the wetsuit that you guys wear in Florida with 75 to 80 degree water. Okay. It's still freaking cold in that ocean. I reached out to the gig master, Steve, down in Virginia Beach today. I talked to him. Virginia Beach has ended their beach replenishment. So it goes from the north side of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel all the way around to the south, just south of the pier, but not quite as far as the inlet. And his report to me is not a damn thing. It's all fresh sand. And Virginia Beach, I'm not trying to deter any tourism from Virginia Beach and families that go there. But if you're a hardcore in the lane detectorist, whether it's dry sand, wet sand, surf, Virginia Beach may not be the place you want to go. Now, I understand, Jeff, we've lost some of or at least one of our reporters because of, quote, the friends didn't like giving out information. I don't hide anything. All right. If you know me or you call me and I happen to have been out recently, I'll tell you where to go. But it changes. The tides change from low tide to high tide every 6 hours. And within a 6 hour period, an area that's hot, that's the size of a pickup truck in the water, that's usually where you're going to find them. the targets are in a spot. They're not going to be spread out. They're going to be where the water comes in, and Terry Shannon he can talk about this as well. The water comes in through a rip in the sandbar, and the high tide will scallop out. And those areas, and him and I think Frank did this in a show a couple weeks ago, where it scallops out and it takes out that overburden to where you can get to those targets. So right now, our wind patterns for the spring are actually bringing in sand, at least in the Maryland corridor down to Virginia, from last year's Dewey Beach, South Bethany, and Fenwick Island beach replenishments. That sand littoral shift has moved south. It's filtering out across Ocean City, Maryland. It's now going south to Assateague, the north part of the island, which is a state park. And you can't hunt there in the summertime, but you can in the wintertime. So we're getting a shift of sand. But I want our listeners to understand, Ocean City has not had beach replenishment in 4 years. The Maryland State Legislature closed this month, and they've earmarked funding to do beach replenishment in FY26, which is after July 1st of 2026. So we're probably going to see replenishment in the fall of 2026. So this summer is wide open. 8 million people a year just in Ocean City, but click in Fenwick, Dewey, South Bethany, go all the way up to Rehoboth, go across the Delaware Bay to Cape May, New Jersey. And the targets are going to be there, but I think the concentration is going to be in this little bit of a region that's down here, contingent upon the conditions, because we still have overburden, folks. It moves up and down that beach twice in 24 hours between low tide, high tide, low tide, high tide. It moves constantly. So when you're on the beach and you're out there, unless you're only stuck on dry sand, when it comes to the wet sand in the water, you simply got to move. Jim Brower, in his book, Gold Beneath the Waves, he calls it run and gun. Terry and Fred talked about it, run and gun. If the targets aren't there, pull out and move. Number two, I want to thank everyone, or actually say to everyone, happy Easter. We missed that one. I talked to Gigmaster. I talked to Old Beach Nut. Many of you see him on YouTube. He is a Chesapeake Bay hunter. And my understanding, Jeff, is he's going to be profiled on your show July the 18th.
One of those days, yep. He's set up. We're going to talk about the
Joe's going to be on
Impulse AQ.
Yep, he's going to be on to talk about bay hunting, and Joe is part of our Northern Territory Gold Crew thread that we text each other every day on the phone as to who's finding what and where. But Joe is going to be on your show in July, and he is a preeminent expert when it comes to the bay. His report to me today was, I'm still looking for it. So it's the same thing in the Chesapeake Bay as kind of like the ocean. You've got to run and gun and find where the sand has moved overburden, and it gives you patches. It's not going to give you long stretches of 100 yards of targets. It's going to be the patches and so forth that are in there. And I look forward to watching Joe's show, but I could call Joe pretty much anytime and talk to him. And he's a great input for me. He kind of got me started 14 years ago between our coastal bays. And I want our listeners and our viewers to recognize that it's not always about the ocean. when the overburden comes in on the ocean side and you're not finding it, start looking for the swimming spots on the bay side and start jumping into the bay. Put on a chest waders or whatever and walk out there and see what you can find. Because when I'm not finding it in the surf, I'm on the bay side, and I still have a couple of older spots that I'm really looking forward to get to now that I have my boat up and running again. And hopefully next month I'll report some shipwreck coins to you.
That'd be great. That would be great. Now I see we've got our Texas reporter finally made it into the house. So, Mark, thanks for pinch hitting like you did. You done good, son. And
hey, Jeff, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Right. To our listeners and our watchers that are on here now. One of my axioms that I have in my draft for my book that I don't know when I'm going to publish it, but when I get it. But lead is a green flag. If you are detecting in the water, I'm not talking about the dry sand, you're in the water, whether it's in the ocean, the bay, a river, a creek. I water hunt in creeks. When you start finding lead, slow down, because to me, lead is a green flag, and I leave that with our viewers today. And I will see you all next month. Thank you, Phil and Jeff, for having OC Cop on today's show, the Delmarva Report. Thank you.
We'll be looking forward to next month, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have now got our newest reporter ready to come in the house. Let's welcome Patty from Dirt Clod Metal Detecting in the great state of Texas. Hello, Patty.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're doing good. Hopefully your internet's working a little better. We know about internet problems.
Don't we ever?
Wow.
Oh. Well, actually, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Oregon.
Well, okay. Works for me. So what's been going on in your area?
Well, sorry about the traffic noise. I'm right by the road, but we have been having some really good weather for metal detecting the past few weeks. Just maybe one day of rain or so in the state. So it's been great to get outside. I have been out. The ground is drying up, but I found a really neat license plate the other day, a 1912 Oregon license plate. That was cool, but it's in kind of bad shape, but still it was kind of cool to find. So are you guys hearing me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I have some reports around the state and the Northwest. There's a guy down in Eugene, which is in the west, kind of central part of the state, that found a really neat art. It is from 1938. It's the 40th National Encampment of the Spanish War Veterans from Portland, Oregon. And the date is September 11th through 13th, 1938. And then it has the names of the war, the battle, the war, the areas they fought in: Cuba, Philippines, and Puerto Rico. And I thought that was really neat, a neat find here in Oregon. Yeah. But it was, a couple 100 miles from the Portland area, so that was interesting. And then somebody had really good luck over at the coast, finding some rings and jewelry pieces there. I think we've had some minus tides, so that has helped a lot. And there's a person in Central Oregon that just purchased a metal detector for Christmas because their property had a World War II camp on it, and they always find from that era. So they got that detector, and they found a few things this last week. So There was one that I remember, just like a single serving coffee tin that, I mean, it's nothing valuable, but cool little item. Now up in Washington, just right above us in the southeastern part of the state, I see a lot of people over in the area. One of the guys there, he went to a lake and he set the goal of 20 rings. And after 4 hours, I don't know if it was just him or both of he and his buddy, but he had 22.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah. So they found lots of other jewelry as well. So people are doing really well. Some silver thimbles and silver medals in Washington. Now, one thing they did mention, what do you call it? The Northwest there in Spokane. The Washington Senate has passed a bill to charge people that buy silver and gold coins 10% sales tax. Now, do they do that anywhere else in the world, or is that just?
No, I think that's pretty unique to Washington.
Just liberal Washington, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the only chance of it not passing is if the governor vetoes the bill. So people are getting riled up about that.
So what's the
up there
forecast?
found forecast is for great weather from now on. There might be a small weather system coming in Wednesday, but it's not supposed to amount to much. But
so looks like it's clear sailing for all kinds of digging, beach, inland, whatever.
Yes. Everything's looking good around here.
Well, that's good because, most of like in the upper Midwest and the North and stuff like that, it has not been,
Uh-huh.
So that's good. That's a great report, Patty. I'm sorry that you had trouble getting it.
I know. I was so frustrated. I had internet like 5 minutes before, and then I tried to get on. It's like, oh, I'm down to 2 bars. Ouch.
Yeah.
It'll work out. We ain't scared. We're not scared. So this will be great. And Patty, you're the only one I know that has successfully. You remember when you won the swag pack on the show, and it had the infamous Zazich, and you actually ate it.
Took the time to eat it.
And
of course
survived.
And it's
it's just a pickled hot dog.
That's all right. That's all right. So Patty, great job tonight. We look forward to next month. Another good report.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks very much. I think you've done really good. So we thank you very, very much.
Well, you're welcome. Have a great night.
See you next month. Okay, that was a good report, Phil.
Yeah, and I see Double G's ask, can you mention the new XP coil, cover the cost on how many he expects to get in? Gary, I'm sorry, I can't say anything about the cost yet because I've heard rumors of tariffs, and I have no idea. I put in a big order for them, but as soon as I get some information, I'll post that on Facebook or I'll give you a ring.
We'll talk about that on another show.
Absolutely.
So now we're going to be for the west coast of Florida. Our good buddy, Big Billy Keene, just got back from England today. He was on a vacation over in England. So he's probably shell shocked. So he won't be here tonight. But we got Big Rick, the master, that he's going to give us our report from the West Coast and all places on the West Coast of Florida. So let's bring on Big Rick. Hey, Ricky.
How's everybody?
We're doing great.
We're good. Did you talk to Billy today?
No, I actually talked to him Saturday. He was en route. He was supposed to land in Tampa sometime around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I can't imagine the jet lag. He's been in England for 2 weeks. So I'm sure his sleep schedule is terribly disrupted and everything else. So, and when we talked, I told him, I said, look, don't worry about it. I'll cover for Monday. I'm a salesman. I can talk for a long time. Not a problem.
You're also the El Presidente.
El Presidente.
El Presidente for Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo.
Yep. All right. You ready?
We're ready. Let's rock and
All
sock.
right. I talked with one of my good friends, Brandon Carmichael. He's in North St. Pete, up in that area. And he has been in the water a couple of times over the last 2 weeks. He's finding a few things. He said he's finding a few things, but the problem is that we've had west winds a lot off the Gulf for the last couple of weeks. And what's happening is it's bringing a lot of sand in. So you have to find the troughs. You got to find the potholes. Kind of like what Terry and Fred always tells us about the East Coast. The difference is that they're looking for those locations in the wet sand where the surf is breaking on the beach. When we're doing it, we're out waist deep to chest deep looking for those same potholes. And I have to reiterate what Mark just got finished saying too. If you're in the sinkers, that is a very, very, very good sign. So if you're digging fishing weights, if you're digging heavy spoons and fishing gear, slow down, take your time, and dig it all. I think if I remember right, the specific gravity of lead and gold are really, really close on the scale. So that's why gold and lead like to hang out with each other. So anyhow, Brandon did say that he's finding most of his targets are in the shallow water, around thigh to waist deep. I had another talk with Thomas Walsh. He told me the very same thing. And of course, we theorize that is because the water has been cold up to right now. It's 79 degrees right now in the Gulf of Mexico. So
that's the Gulf of America. Thank you very much.
Gulf of America, whichever you prefer. Doesn't matter to me.
I prefer Gulf of America.
I'm not going to start any fights over it. But anyway, in the Gulf, we theorize, and it's easy to see when you're out there hunting. Obviously, you're observing what's going on, and it's easy to see that in the Gulf, people are generally about thigh deep. There's something about waist deep in cold water people like to avoid. Don't know why, but they do. As it warms up a little more, then we'll get them a little farther out. They'll get in the collarbones deep and chest deep water, and then the targets will start moving a little deeper. There have been a few silver rings show up, which they sell up and down the beach in all the little gift shops. So what they're primarily finding are a lot of fresh drops. They're finding a lot of junk jewelry showed up this past weekend. Earrings, bracelets. There were a couple of chains with pendants on them, but every bit of it was all junk. So junkite. I do want to shift real quick and talk a little bit about the price of gold and stuff like that, because I get this question a lot. Where do you sell your gold if you want to sell your gold? And I will tell you in my area what I like to do, because I am a coin collector and most of the coin dealers also will deal in precious metals like bulk gold and bulk silver. When Richard has his Coinocopia show at the first Saturday of every month, they have 50 to 60 dealers all under one roof. And you can literally go from table to table to table and show them what you got and get quotes. So I did that yesterday, as a matter of fact, or Saturday, and I sold another $1,100 worth of gold. Gold is it was at an all-time high. It just did tick $3,500 an ounce. Right now, it's down to $3,263 an ounce. So if anybody's ever thought about selling their gold, or just don't know what to do with it, that's what I would suggest that you do. It saves you a lot of time instead of going from pawn shop to pawn shop to pawn shop. And understand you're going to get a little bit less than what market value is, because they have to make their money also. Right now, 14 karat gold is $57.59 a gram. So they're probably going to offer you $45, $48 a gram because again, they have to make their money through the refiner. So silver is at $32.54 a gram, which is $1.04 a gram. I'm sorry, it's $32.54 an ounce, which is $1.04 a gram. So if you've ever thought about selling some of your stuff and letting it go, now is a good time to do it, I think. Again, the Gulf is in great shape. It's warming up really nice. Clarity has been a little spotty. It's a little soupy because of the west winds. And Mark, I don't know about Refinery Direct. And here's the problem I have with Refinery Direct. You have to put it in the mail. You have to insure it. You have to ensure that it's going to get there. I don't know. Would you put $10,000 cash in an envelope and mail it UPS anywhere?
As long as it's coming to me, I'll take my chances.
I'd
rather have the cash in hand, Rick.
Right. That's just me. I mean, I'm not slamming anybody that might be working for the post office, but I don't know. I just like dealing direct. I will take a little bit less money. And my understanding is with the refiners, years ago, everybody was going through the refiners, but it would take you 90 days to get your money. By the time you mailed it, by the time they refined, got it, they weighed it. And if gold dropped $100 an ounce, by the time you mailed it to the time they weighed it, you lost that money. So, I always like doing it direct. When I paid the guys, when I gave the guys what I had the other day, they gave me $100 bills. So I don't have to worry about it.
Well, good. I mean, you're buying dinner when I'm down there. By the way, what's happening down along the Peace River, anything like that for fossils?
Yes, I was out there a couple of weeks ago. I'm going back, I think, this Friday again. I got some deer antlers. I got a whole bunch of 38 caliber shells because it's near a bridge. So, in good old redneck fashion, they love to roll up on a bridge and hop out with their guns and shoot the river, So we always seem to find shells and things like that near the bridges. I got a lot of shark's teeth. The buddy I went with, he was thrilled because I think he dug over 150 shark's teeth as well. We didn't get that kicker tooth this week, nothing massively huge, but we did find a lot of stuff. We came out with pouches full of really neat material.
Cool. Very, very good. So it's the water's warming up.
Yep.
So I'm going to be down there the end of the month. I'll be in Naples on the 23rd. So the water ought to be good and warm down there.
Absolutely. It's probably in the 80s down there already.
From the 27th, I'm going to be up in Treasure Island, and we're all going to hunt, and we're all going out to dinner on Wednesday night. So
yes, we are.
That will be good, and it'll be fun. And let's hope that the water is nice and calm and warm.
Yep. And I will tell one other thing. Tell Jocelyn, my mom just went through cardio ablation. She had to do it 2 or 3 times. The cardioversion, I mean. She had to do it 2 or 3 times to get her heart back into rhythm, and medication and all that other good stuff. And my mom is 82 years old. So you'll come back a little bit bruised when they hit you with the paddles, and your whole body tenses up a little bit, but she should come through it with flying colors, just be a little sore for a couple of days.
Phil's going to be sore because she will crack him if he tries to get rowdy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I know her.
Well,
okay. Okay. Mr. Ricky T, my brother, thank you for another good report. Now we're going to move on now, and I will see you soon, I hope, my friend.
Absolutely. I got the whole week marked off.
Good man. Good man. We're going to find a bunch of gold.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk at you soon. And now we're going to bring on, I think we're having a little technical difficulty tonight with a number of people. Corinne is having trouble getting on. She's going to keep trying. We're going to talk about the Treasure Coast with the Treasure Coast Trio right now. So let's bring them on. It'll be definitely Fred and Terry, and hopefully Corinne when she can get it worked out. So let's bring them on. There's Fred.
Hey guys.
Hey, Fred,
And there's Terry. Hey,
Good evening,
Terry.
everybody.
I know when Mark was talking about scallops, you were making you hungry, wouldn't it, Terry?
Yeah, Mark gave a really good report tonight. I compliment him. That he had some good information. And Phil, a little prayer for your wife. She'll come through real well, but we'll be thinking.
appreciate that. Yeah, she's a trooper. She'll do it.
And then, I can, if you want, I might be able to explain to Rick why men don't like to go over waist deep in this cold water. If you need.
Oh, guys.
I think Rick knows. So what's been going on the Treasure Coast, guys? Because you only got, you're probably leaving to go back up north here in a couple of weeks, right, Terry?
I'm leaving next week, sometime next week.
Okay, so then next month you'll be giving us a report from Minnesota.
And you're going to see pictures of all kinds of great things, I hope.
Okay, good. I hope so.
Awesome.
You always give us a good report. We're looking forward to getting your report from that part of the country. So, Fred, how have you been?
I've been great. I got a pretty good report for you going on.
Let's get after it.
Well, one of the guys down in Palm Beach County, Howie Graypeck, he's got this YouTube adventures, Howie Graypeck Adventures, but he went out on Easter Day and he found a bunch of tent stakes and some aluminum, but he ended in 90 minutes. He got 2 gold rings and a gold pennant, which that's pretty darn good.
Yes, it is.
So he's been doing really good. I mentioned him last month and again this month. We've got at Turtle Trail, something really weird happened. I was metal detecting Turtle Trail, and that's one of the treasure ship sites that you're not supposed to metal detect in the water. So I'm walking down the beach, and there's a guy chest deep in the water metal detecting. And he saw me get my phone out, and I was taking a picture of him out there in the water. And he came rushing out of the water and started metal detecting the sand. Well, meanwhile, one of the turtle spotters flew by on an ATV, and I walked up to the guy, and I told him he wasn't supposed to be metal detecting in the water, and he says no, and he was acting like he didn't understand English. He knew exactly what he was doing, but I just walked off, and 5 minutes later, I've been metal detecting that beach for about 20 years now, and the first time I ever saw a cop on an ATV going down the beach at Turtle Trail, and he waved to me, and he went right to that guy in the water. So I'm figuring the turtle guy turned him in, the turtle spotter turned him in.
Very possibly. They should have. Bottom line is, Fred and Terry, you both preach it all the time, as do Phil and I. Know the rules before you go. And he knew that you, in certain areas down there, you don't get in the water. That's just the way it is. And he paid the price. So that's good.
So another good thing that happened just a few days ago, Jim McLaughlin and I went and metal detected a Seminole fort, and I was spent a lot of time with the owner. I found some iron square spikes and stuff, but Jim came up with a silver half dime and 2 eagle buttons, which was fantastic for the area. It was really good because that fort area has been overhunted so many times, but he still came up with those items. So that was fantastic finds.
Yes.
That's about the oldest thing I've heard in any finds. Terry and I's friend Jim Hoverick, he's back on the gold, isn't he, Terry?
Yeah.
He just came up with a nice gold 18-karat gold ring with a big honker diamond in it, and he's one of our regulars, and we talk to him practically every day, and he does. I'll let Terry talk about him. But
he's done really well. He really has.
He does fantastic.
And more power to him.
Yeah, and then we've got
just 1 second, Fred. You make sure with that ring he found, make sure he knows You're coming to my birthday dinner, so it would be a really nice. It didn't cost him nothing. It would be a really nice present for me.
Good luck with that one.
I know. Well, you know,
Yeah.
He took it to a jeweler and it was appraised at $2,000.
I'd like it. You know, that's a good present for me.
And then as far as tides go, we've got some super low and super high tides coming up at the end of the month, from the 23rd to the 30th. Over here on the East Coast, there's going to be super low tides, super high tides. But I'm going to be on the West Coast for a couple of those days, visiting with some friends over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get you in the water, son.
That's it. I'm going to be with you guys then. And what else do I have? Oh, we've had one beach closing down at Fort Pierce, just south of Fort Pierce, and that's the clothing optional beach. One I've never detected.
Why did they close it?
But they're paving all the all of the parking and the road going to it. They just did that at Douglas Beach too. Douglas Beach was closed for about a month while they did that.
Well, that's the beach where your digging pouch, the position is, it's pouch centric right there.
This guy ain't going out there.
I would go.
So, what's going on, Terry?
Okay, in our area here, one of the things when you see the weeds on the beach, that's not good. When the weeds come in, it's bringing sand in. And like today, when I got up this morning, walked outside, my flag wasn't even moving. So the waves, it seems like the lower the waves are, the more sand it brings in. And the only thing that I've had any luck at all is right at the edge of the wet, way up high. It seems like when it's coming in as fast as it is, anybody is out in there swimming and loses a ring and that stuff, it just sinks so fast because the sand is so loose, or it's so soft on that. So the detecting hasn't been good, but and I made some calls. Cocoa Beach now, they they're not doing well up there either. They're renourishing the beach, and by the way, or replenishing the beach. I think we should start calling it destroying the beach. It's just such a crime,
Well, that's what it is destroying the beach.
But anyway, I've been up now the last couple of days, and there is a trough forming just north of Paradise where a guy could jump in there. There you can go into the water, and I've done well in these troughs. And we did have a couple of weeks ago. It was really kind of exciting. We were right out on top of the coquina. And I mean, that's really good. A lot of stuff gets caught in this coquina. Here's a couple of white sinkers. Look at these sinkers. When you start finding these, I agree with everybody. That's a green light. But look at how gray these sinkers are. They come out of the coquina rocks. They've probably been in there 100 years, not 100 years, but they've been in there a long time. So when you're finding those things, it's good. And actually, with the sand coming in, it's actually covering, the third reef a little bit. You can see just the very tops of some of the reefs out, farther out, but there's no way you can get into it.
So, have you found any gold, Terry?
Yeah, I got another gold chain, a 9 carat. I don't know when I found that, but it was a really nice chain. And in fact, my wife wore it yesterday. And I've never run into a 9 carat. I got a 10 carat gold chain, and then I got that 9 carat. And I got some really different jewelry, some good stuff too. And I got one gold ring, I know for a fact.
Okay, cool.
Having fun, meeting a lot of people, and enjoying life.
Yeah, but no Spanish treasure then.
I don't know of anybody that's found any I've heard of no shipwreck, not even Spanish treasure, for a couple months now. It's been just so sanded in, and they really put so much sand on it. Everything is just so covered. But I don't know of anybody. Do you, Fred? Have you heard of anybody getting any shipwrecks?
I haven't heard of anybody finding anything.
You and Fred and I did real well when we first come down here this fall or last fall, and we were picking up some really neat things at shipwreck stuff. But
then they've really restarted. They still replenishing?
they're done down in our area. They're up by the Cocoa Beach area, and they're north of the pier. And I called You're Digging It Detectors and asked them if they had got any reports from that. And they've had no reports on anything good being found or anything like that. And they said they thought that they're going south with the renourishment. Now, whether they're going to, oh, there she is, and looking for.
Okay, let's hear from Corinne. What's been going on for your report, Corinne?
Oh my, I don't know if I'm repeating things. I wish I was here for my other guys here talking. All right, so the beaches, I don't know that anybody. Oh, you still there?
Yeah, we're there. There you go.
All right. All right. So the beaches around here, they look okay. There were actually maybe the couple that I went to in person. Otherwise, I've just been hearsay. But the couple that I went to, they looked really good. And you know who I saw and ran into? Terry right there.
Are you going to tell them the story, Corinne?
Should I?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I just had my niece with me, and it looked really good though. It looked really good, and Terry dug a big chunkin' sinker, and so of course that's a good sign. But his next target, I thought, wow, he must have been a stinker, and because he looked like he was mad, kind of when you dug like a 15th piece of aluminum type thing. And he kind of stomped off, but I think he had to use the restroom. So,
well, he does pout when he doesn't pull up gold in every scoop.
No,
we know that.
She's sugarcoating the problem. What happened is I had a kidney stone, and I was having a lot of trouble. And rather than sit home and feel sorry for myself, I thought I would detect a remote beach because nobody would see me out there, and if I had problems, I could deal with it. And who do I run into but Corinne, her mother, and her niece? And while I'm talking to it, I had it out, and I didn't quite make the restroom. I left in a hurry. But I faced the kidney stone.
Now,
he just jumped in the ocean.
What beaches were you on, Corinne?
It was Millennium
And
Beach.
whereabouts is that?
That's
For people who don't know the Treasure Coast, what area would that be?
Is that technically Indian Harbor Beach, or is that Satellites right there on the border?
Indian right on the border. It would be just north of the dog park there at Canova Beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very short walk from Millennium to Canova Beach, and so it's part of the dog park, right by the Walmart there on A1A.
It was probably best there, but I know that Fred was saying that what beach was showing rocks, Fred, that you said?
Oh, Canova was showing rocks there. He's showing the coquina and stuff. Terry and I hit that a couple of times in the coquina.
Yeah, that can be a really good sign. I mean, you can just, when those rocks expose, you can just take a spoon and a little pinpointer and have at it. But they were just finding some fishing sinkers. There's a lot of fishing sinkers that are cemented to those rocks. And man, you waste a lot of, you get good exercise trying to get those pieces out.
It could be gold down there.
Yeah, I had one day where I got so many sinkers I had to dump my pouch and actually go back out. So.
Well, that's a good problem to have because you never know. Terry, you keep digging sinkers, pretty soon it'll be a big chunky gold ring.
For sure.
That's for sure, yep.
All right, guys, so the beaches are kind of sanded in on the Treasure Coast from what I gather. People aren't doing real well. So let's hope on the next month's report that everything's looking up. Now, Terry, we will see you from the great state of Minnesota. Looking forward to that because you'll be ready to rock and sock in the otter tail, correct?
Exactly. I'll be in my parka, a warm coat.
And so we'll have Terry. We'll probably have more than an hour show next month because as we add more regions, which we will do, we will have to add time. Fred and Corinne will handle the Treasure Coast. Young Mr. Terry will be up in Minnesota, and we'll have our regular reporters. Big Billy Keene will be back, and hopefully we'll have no technical issues like we have had. But guys, thanks again for another wonderful report.
Absolutely.
And we will see you. Well, Fred, I'm going to see you in the end of the month in person, and we'll have a show with Fred on, I think it is the 26th or whatever it is. The 26th. I'm not going to be on the show. Big Poppy's going to sit in for me, but he and Phil and Fred are going to talk about sapphire mining, and Fred will have a really cool video for us. So, guys, thanks again for a great show, and now we'll see you next week, and Phil and I are going to give it a closeout. So, see you later.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks,
much.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
thanks for sure. All right.
Okay, there we go. So that went well considering
Yes,
all the
yes, it was
yeah.
awesome, Jeff.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, I always
Uh,
love this week's show. It's just my favorite one, hearing how people are doing. And I'm going to take a little bit of time here and invite everybody, if they're in the Tampa Bay area on May the 20th. I'm surprised Rick didn't tell the folks that the Metal Detecting Club is having their annual tabletop sale. So if you're looking for anything treasure hunting or metal detecting related, coins, anything that people find, they'll put it on there. And, you know, when they have doubles and triples of artifacts and different stuff, they're willing to do a deal so the members can put stuff on the table and sell it. And that's May 20th at Coincopia, which Richard's going to be on soon too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay, cool.
Yes, he is.
That's Coincopia.
I haven't got it right in front of me, but I think it may be next week.
Okay, cool.
It's either the next week or the week after. We're going to talk coins with Richard from Coinocopia. So if you've got any coins that you found and that you want, if you want to take a good picture of it and email it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get the email up here. If you want to email me a good picture of a coin that you've got questions about,
1 minute.
we will put it on the screen when we're talking with Richard and get you the information you want. So send me an email with your questions and a good picture of your coin, and we'll get that taken away. And Rick says it's going to have a pizza party too. So
yes, I didn't get a chance to mention that. That's the favorite part. We'll give you a slice of pizza too. You know me, Jeff. You don't get eyes by not eating. So
that's right. You gotta have some of that pizza.
Gotta have pizza, and you'll have treasure hunting and treasure stories and all kinds of stuff there at the Metal Detective Club. Good place to meet other hunters for sure. And it looks like our time's almost up, isn't it, Jeff?
Yep. So remember now, next month we'll probably be on till at least 8:15, and as we add more, we'll go. So, but then only once a month. So
yeah.
So we'll get it covered. So we had a pretty good coverage tonight. Good reports, I think.
Absolutely.
Patty did very well with her first time reporting. Very informative. Rick always did great. Terry and Fred did great. Mark does great. We got a good bunch of people.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. Covering most of the country. Yes.
And it's kind of nice for you and I, so we can just kind of sit back and
let other
enjoy.
People. Yes, for sure.
So as now, one thing, people, let's all just close our eyes real quick. We got about 30 seconds here, and let's say a silent prayer for Jocelyn, because she's going to have an ordeal she's going through on Thursday. She needs to know we're all behind her, all thinking about her, and we're all praying for her. So let's just take just a few minutes, seconds here, and let's all say a prayer for Jocelyn for a good turnout. Thank you. Absolutely. And it's been a pleasure once more, and we will see you next week. You want to say your final whatever's, Phil?
Well, thank you, Jeff, for sure. Thank you to all of our many members. Thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me out tonight. And thank you to all the reporters who were on here tonight. So that's always the best part of the show, Jeff. So
They do a good job. It's really coming together.
And thank you, and happy hunting, and dig deeper.
Yes, sir. When we will see you all next week, same time at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't remember exactly who's going to be on, but it'll be a good guest. Trust me.
Good show for sure.
Yes, it will. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the good wishes and prayers for Jocelyn. And we will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Happy hunting and dig deeper. Good night, everybody.
Good night.